Christie Brinkley. Woo, finish the theater. Thank you.
How's it going, guys? Thanks for watching another video. So I finally got a chance to check out Chicago. So I think what I want to first do is talk about the difference between the movie and the play. Now there's a lot of great examples out there of plays that have been movies and movies that have been plays, and most of the time they translate very similarly. But in this case, the movie Chicago has such great costuming and acting and transitions between what's on stage and what's going on in reality that if you look at the movie and then look at the play, because the play is very different as compared to other plays as well, you might be a little bit disappointed. Now, the major difference between Chicago the play and the movie, and actually between Chicago the play and other plays, is it's visually not stimulating at all. Basically what it is, it's a big bandstand with the band on it, they're playing their music, there's a central entrance, there's left and there's right, and there's some trapdoors on that bandstand, but that's it. The costuming is very minimal, there's no roaring 1920s flapper dresses, there's not a lot of fancy lighting. In fact, I think I remember calling maybe 3 basic color changing, like pink, red, and maybe blue and spotlighting, but compared to other plays that have just a plethora of different lighting options and stage options, that's not going to happen here. So if you're going to Chicago to see the Chicago the movie or great costuming, you're just not going to have it. And so what? You're not getting a crazy roaring 1920s visual experience when you're watching Chicago the musical. That still shouldn't stop you from wanting to see it. Because remember, all of those other things like the props and the costuming, the lighting and the setting, those are all extra. You don't really need those things. What you do need is that core set of elements that make a play great. Great characters, great storyline for those characters, great music, great lyrics for those music, and if it's a dancing kind of musical, great choreography and blocking. And Chicago has all of that built into it. And you get a little bit of costuming and you get a little bit of props being used, but that's not the draw. It's the music and the dancing and the lyrics and the storyline of the characters that really hold it together. So I had the perfect play in the perfect venue with the perfect actors. Except for one. Now guys, I'm not going to pull any punches here, I'm going to be brutally honest here. Christie Brinkley ruined Chicago. She might be the worst onstage actress I've ever seen in my entire life. And I'm talking like elementary school plays, high school plays, community theater plays, and actual Broadway plays. She did not belong on that stage. And if I remember correctly, I remember her having the same role sometime in the past. And now I'm thinking, why would you invite somebody that is this bad back onto stage when people are spending up to $200 to $150 to sit in the front row to watch this train wreck? Now guys, how do I know? Because I was one of those people sitting 6 rows back watching this chain reaction car wreck. Everybody that she had a scene with, and keeping in mind, these are some high-level professionals that she's working with, she just made them worse. They had to like de-elevate or de-escalate their talent to match hers. For example, let's start with her vocals. Her vocals were horrible. She really just sounded whispering all the time, and she just sounded like this. Oh gosh, what am I gonna do? And when she sang, I don't know if she was trying to act like she had a whispery voice, because I know she doesn't have a whispery voice. Maybe she was sick. I don't know, but she didn't have a chest voice, she didn't have a head voice, and she didn't hold not one note consistently in tone when it needed to be held. When she was on stage with a stronger singer, you could tell that that stronger singer had to bring it down just a little bit. For example, when Velma Kelly and Mama were on stage, they blew it out of the park. Their performance had great harmony and it sounded fantastic. Their level of volume sounded and tone was fantastic. But when Velma Kelly got on stage with Roxy Hart, it was horrible. So her vocals were horrible. And her acting definitely wasn't any better than her vocals. It was literally 85 minutes of this. Oh gosh, Billy, what are we going to do? It was all like this. She was just speaking in this voice. I don't know if she was trying to imitate a whispery, raspy voice, because I know her voice isn't like that, but it was just, oh no, take my advice. Don't do that. It wasn't her being Roxy Hart. It was her acting like she was acting to be somebody else. And her body movements, the way that she was pantomiming certain things, how she was interacting with other characters, it was stiff, it was uncomfortable, and I don't know if you can coach something like that, but guess what? If you're not moving naturally when you're interacting with other characters, guess what else you're not going to do good in? dancing. So when she was dancing with Velma Kelly at the ending, when they had their final closing number, it literally, and keeping in mind, she looks great for 65, right? She still got them great long legs, but she looked like a newborn giraffe just walking around on stage. It was super uncomfortable, guys. And the other thing I want to bring up is this. When you're on stage with somebody else, and I've been really lucky in my acting career where I've been on stage with people that are giving it to me, right? You got something to work off of. But when you're on stage with somebody that is just standing there with no personality and not a lot, and they're not giving it to you, you don't have a lot to work with. The only choice you have is to match their level of intensity. And it didn't matter who she was on stage with. They always had to drop their game down to match her level, and that ruins the entire play. So my advice to you guys is, if Chicago comes to town and Christie Brinkley's in it, don't watch it. Now, all is not lost. I do remember two scenes in which I thought that she did really good in. The first one being when Billy Flynn was a ventriloquist and he was using her as a puppet. She did a really good job with that body movement to make it seem like she was actually a, one of those ventriloquist puppets. So that was really good. The second one was in the second act when she's on the stand and Billy Flynn is asking her questions and the script calls for a little bit of overacting. She did really good in overacting. So it wasn't a total bust. But as a whole, guys, again, if Chicago is coming to your town, if Christie Brinkley's in it, don't go watch it. Now, congratulations to the rest of the cast. The people that played like Amos, Billy Flynn, Mama, Velma Kelly, the dancing ensemble. You guys hit it out of the park. Keep your heads up. I think it's going to be okay. So guys, that was my review of Chicago with Christie Brinkley, starring Christie Brinkley as Roxy Hart. Hope you enjoyed it. If you liked it, please give me the thumbs up. If you haven't subscribed to Chemo 365, please do. And remember, I'll catch you guys later.